Hello, I'm Bernie Hayes. Today's guest is Dr. Larry Jones, and we've been talking about success coaching today on The Bernie Hayes Show. And welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes. My guest is Dr. Larry A. Jones. Dr. Jones, how are you?
Thank you. Very good.
So good to be here.
Happy to be here.
Success coaching, taste of success coaching, turning ADHD from stigma to stability. What does that mean?
As a coach, and basically I help people to live their best lives. I help them to excel, to plan out their life goals, and any other kinds of things that they want to do to have a more resilient and fuller life. That's basically the goal of success coaching. And with my training, I had specialized training in coaching persons with ADHD. Mm-hmm. Since I have it, I have sons that have it and grandchildren that have it. So that has now become my new profession. I call it my third career.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You know, when you say coaching, when I first thought about maybe a football coach or a basketball coach or something like that, but you're talking about success coaching, people, coaching people.
Exactly.
How did that come about, Doctor?
I mean, it's similar to coaching in that you are trying to strengthen the individual, to bring out their talents, to show them that they can continue to improve. But success coaching really builds upon where the person is now and helping to become the person that they want to be. Mm-hmm. You know, some people are lucky enough to have their passion in life to be their profession. You know, like myself, I've been extremely blessed to have my passion to be my profession. But for those of us where those two don't mix, how do you, with a full-time job, a family, and the desire to work in your area of passion, how do you make all that work together so that you can function smoothly and be fully participant in all three areas of your life?
Okay. How does one know that they need a coach? I mean, we talked about earlier, it's psyche, it's psychological.
Yes. Well, I think first just to clarify with our audience what ADHD is. That's attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. You know, long name. Usually most people are associated with children, but it is a lifelong issue. It changes over the course of life in terms of how it presents itself. Hyperactivity for some people is not the presenting symptom. Others, it's difficulty maintaining attention, which can be with or without the hyperactivity. So just to sort of give our audience a background. But an ADHD coach, as opposed to a regular success coach, the goal is how to help the individual realize their potential, because they have strengths that they've used to get to where they are today. But how can you manage those issues that seem to get in the way of them going to the levels that they expect? Or if the expectations are out of line with their actual ability, which can come out in the coaching, then helping the person find a comfortable place where things are in balance, where they don't feel excessive stress based upon not doing what they feel they should be able to do, or the concern about potential failure or not meeting goals, either work or at home.
How soon would one seek you out after being diagnosed with ADHD?
Really at any point. My practice, Taste of Success Coaching, I will start as early as middle school with adolescents, through high school, also do college students. And For the younger children, the coaching really would involve working with the parents to manage the child and to help the child to create success by identifying the sort of barriers, which could be that kid who just can't sit still in school or the kid who just can't seem to stay on task. Mm-hmm. With adults, I'm working with them in order to, one, be able to help them to get to that next level. Typically, they come to me in semi-crisis that the job just doesn't seem to fulfill them anymore as it may once have, or feeling underpaid, undervalued, and not appreciated in their job. So the process I will go through is to help them to sort of analyze. I'd never tell a client, yeah, you need to change the job, even though I may realize that by the first or second session.
Sure.
But I help them go through a process of analyzing, what's gone well, what's not gone well, what are the opportunities out there that you might be able to pursue that will get you into a job that better fits for you personally, and at the same time trying to maintain their income so there's no additional stress on the family.
Is ADHD similar to depression?
No, it can be associated with depression frequently. In fact, ADHD usually, frequently, I say in about 50% of the cases, will have some real psychiatric disorder associated with it, which could be depression. Depression is the most common. So sometimes when persons are started on ADHD medication, those depression symptoms may come out. It can also be the person may be misdiagnosed with depression first, and then later it's determined that the person has ADHD.
Wow, okay.
So then you have to generally treat both. But that's basically the part that the psychiatrist, the primary care physician are involved with. I mean, I'm cognizant of those as a coach and physician, but I don't treat patients. My clients are people who come to me for support to help them to go to that next step, to achieve their goals and aspirations, and at the same time to have a full life outside of that job.
Who would diagnose one with ADHD?
It could be the family physician, because there are a number of tools that are in common practice that physicians can use to diagnose ADHD. There are various types of inventories or surveys. It can be done by a psychologist. It can also be done by a psychiatrist. But only the MD, family physician, internist, psychiatrist would be able to prescribe medications. The psychologists cannot prescribe medications if medications are indicated.
So you already indicated what your goal is, and that's to get them on track, more or less. Huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Now, some people come to me and are not on medication. So I work with them within their parameters. The client gets to decide what the ultimate goal is. I only help them to structure steps towards that goal. If the client does not want to be on medication, I will work with them as best I can and give them the tools that I have in my inventory to help them to manage their ADHD. But, sometimes, even though they were reluctant at first to start on medication, they may start on medication because that's what they need to achieve. So it's, what's the balance? What will work best? What will get them to their ultimate goals?
How did you come up with the term coaching? And we're going to take a short break now, but
Yes.
I want to get back to how that came about. And also some previous things that you've done that we want to talk about, too, that you and Audrey, your wife, Audrey, participated in. And we're at the New Life Evangelistic Center with 28 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. Reverend Larry Rice, more than 52 years, have been providing services for those in need. And here it is, the Christmas season again, and the wonderful programs that he has will be reoccurring. I'm Bernie Hayes, back with Dr. Jones after this.
Just drive downtown St. Louis drive by City Hall and you'll see, what do they do? For a year now, a fence is all the way around City Hall and neighboring parks to keep the homeless people out. You talk about a visible enlightenment as to NIMBY and how it exists. Just take a look at St. Louis City Hall. Not in my backyard is what they're saying, but they're not alone. So many other people are saying, not in my backyard when it comes to the hurting and the homeless. So where are they going to go? What are they going to do? We haven't seen a single new shelter open in the city of St. Louis for 15 years due to something called plat and petition. And it's not just the city of St. Louis, it's St. Louis County, Jefferson County, Franklin County, Madison County, St. Clair County in Illinois. What are they doing? They want to ship their homeless to St. Louis. That's wrong. We have to see each county taking care of their own homeless people. And that's why we may have to file a lawsuit in the near future against Jefferson County and St. Charles County and St. Louis County to take care of their own homeless according to Missouri state law and start shipping it everywhere else. Well, in the meantime, we need your help here at New Life Evangelistic Center. We receive no city, state, or federal dollars. Our teams are out every day among the poorest of the poor. They don't need our excuses. They need direct help. We are having to distribute hundreds and hundreds of sandwiches, hundreds and hundreds of bottles of water. We urgently need water. You can bring it to 806 North Jefferson in Springfield or 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. There are so many hurting people. Yes, in Springfield we get 150, 200 homeless people a day, and most of them sleep outside. So we have to distribute tents and sleeping bags, and long underwear and gloves and socks and hats. Why don't you have a drive at your church and help us at this time? Further information, call us at 1-800-334-3276 or 314-421-3020. That's 314-421-3020. Go to the website at nlecstl.org, and your tax-deductible gifts are urgently needed now. It's New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri. That's 63166.
Hello, welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes, and we're talking with Dr. Larry Jones about ADHD. Dr. Jones, before we went to the break, how would one know they had ADHD? What symptoms are there that would send them to a doctor and be prescribed to this disease? Is it a disease or emotional disturbance or what?
It's really, when you really define it in its true sense, it is not a true psychiatric disorder.
Okay.
It is a brain that functions a bit differently from what we call the neurotypical brain, the average normal brain. There are actually physical changes in the brain that are different. The pathways within the brain are a bit different than with the typical brain. So it is a human variation in the true sense. How do you know you have ADHD? Based upon a certain set of symptoms. And anybody can have one or two of these symptoms but not truly have ADHD. It's a composite. Hyperactivity from the name. And you usually see that in children who just can't sit still, who may often have difficulty paying attention as well. But most importantly, in terms of their method of taking in information, typically will involve a lot of movement, which generally in the classroom is not as acceptable because this is a child who may respond to questions out of turn without raising his or her hand. He may be the child who is constantly teasing or playing with something on his desk or with other students in the classroom. So it's very distracting to the teacher and to other students as well. So that's one type. Then there's the inattentive type child, which is where I fall, and most of the members in my family who seem to have ADHD are the inattentive type, in that in the mind they're constantly going from one thing to another. It's hard for them to stay on track, to say in the midst of a talk or lecture, to stay totally focused on what that lecturer or speaker is talking about, as opposed to thinking about something else or some physical distraction like a noise, a sound, a movement that quickly catches the eye. And they have difficulty coming back to what they were doing at the beginning. So those are the most important features. But then you get into more specifics around academics and around performance just in life, such as one of the common things that's discussed is the now and not now behavior. Now, I'm supposed to be working on this. I'm a student in school and working on a subject or a topic. Mm. However, once I realize that this isn't due for another week, I'll stop working on that and go do something else, which may or may not be appropriate to what needs to be done for tomorrow.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So how does this person get to what they're really supposed to be doing? How do they prioritize? Similar, just like in the home situation, the now and not now behavior manifests itself as, say, the spouse says, Larry, I want you to take care of this. It's a little chilly, so we do some weather stripping here. Untreated, in fact, even now I have to think about it and ask the question, do you want me to stop doing what I'm doing now to do this, or do you mean at some time at a later point? The time element becomes very confused. Mm-hmm. Similarly, in terms of how long it takes to do something, or how much can you get done before you know you have to do this next thing, gets confused. Mm-hmm. So, time management, the inattention, hyperactivity, then things, and with the now and not now behavior, then you get into things like procrastination. This paper's due in a week. I don't need to start that now. I'll do that later. And then it gets to the point that the paper it's just barely started the day before the paper's due.
Wow, okay.
Then it's really the stress that brings you back to, I've got to finish this tonight. But with that stress becomes physical symptoms, which are unhealthy. Increase in pulse rate, increased blood pressure, increased cortisol, which is sort of like the flight fright hormone in the body, which if you get too much of it causes you to do other things like eating too much, other unhealthy behaviors.
Wow.
So there are some health risks, physical health risks associated with ADHD. Mm-hmm. So my job as a coach is really to try to help the individual to plan out that paper or plan out that project so that they build into their schedule enough time to get it done such that it's completed on time, but at the same time, knowing how life goes, that there are going to be certain days that they're not going to work on it. So how do you create a schedule to get this project completed and knowing full well that 1 or 2 days of that you're probably not going to be able to work on it?
Okay. Doctor, you were talking about the elementary school children,
Yes.
Pre-high school. Would it be helpful if the instructors or the teachers had some knowledge of ADHD?
Yes. That would be very helpful because if teachers are aware the child has ADHD, my hope is that they would put special effort into making sure that that child, one, is within the classroom in the least distracting area of their classroom.
Okay.
Typically, what some teachers will do is put that child up front so they can maintain more eye contact to really see what that child is doing. Mm-hmm. Because, the eyes will wander as the mind wanders.
Sure.
So if the eye contact is not maintained, the child is not taking appropriate notes or signs that the child is taking in the information, then the teacher can go over, they can touch the child, they could make a subtle comment to the child in a lower voice to bring the child back in. Mm-hmm. So if the teachers are aware, there are a number of things that they could do that would not significantly interfere with the normal procedures within the classroom. Mm-hmm. But they would have to recognize that if the parents don't know that the child may have ADHD, or if, for whatever reason, say a previous teacher may have noticed it and it's not in the record as the child progresses to the next grade.
How can we reach you, Dr. Jones? How can we reach you?
You can reach me through my website, which is tasteofsuccesscoaching.com. You can also reach me by email at drlarry@tasteofsuccesscoaching.com. And of course through Facebook, Taste of Success Coaching. And this is a phone number where you can reach me, but to leave a message and I will give you a call back in order to see what your interests are. And through my coaching business, we do provide a free introductory coaching session for those who are interested, who feel they may need the coaching, but either just general success coaching or folks who actually have ADHD or have some difficulty in terms of, with job, home, or personal life.
Are there hours of operation?
I normally see clients Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Okay. We want to take a short break again and come back and talk about falling through the ceiling. Something that we've had before here on the Bernie Hayes Show with Dr. Larry Jones and his wife, Dr. Audrey Jones. We'll be right back after this.
Since 1972, New Life Evangelistic Center has been on the front lines, reaching out, helping the hurting, the homeless, the fatherless, the widowed throughout mid-America. Yes, although it's had its roots in St. Louis, it now has expanded throughout mid-America into India and Africa, Haiti, and other places around the world. Oh, what a history New Life Evangelistic Center has. And we have many of these history books available to you, and they're right there on Amazon. And if we can help you get one of those, you contact us at 314-421-3020. But in addition to all that, we want to share a lot of that history with you right here as we take a look at how the work began and how the Lord has taken us throughout the years and the miracles that we have seen, all because of caring people like you. You're part of the history of the New Life Evangelistic Center. And we're believing that 2025 is the year that the center is going to become alive and seeing the Lord do exceedingly beyond we can even ask or think. We're on the verge of miracles. Yes, New Life Evangelistic Center has a rich history, but there's much more yet to come. And that's why I'm inviting you to familiarize yourself with the history of the past and be a part of the miracles of the present. Yes, let the Lord God Almighty work in you and through you. Let Him do exceedingly beyond what you can ask or think. He's got a purpose for you. And we want you to be able to live out that purpose as you get directly involved in the history of New Life Evangelistic Center and what the Lord is doing now.
Our civil rights subject for today is Octavius V. Catto, civil rights activist who lived from 1839 to 1871. Known as one of the most influential civil rights activists in Philadelphia during the 19th century, Catto fought for the abolition of slavery and the implementation of civil rights for all. He was prominent in the actions that successfully desegregated Philadelphia's public trolleys and played a major role in the ratification of the 15th Amendment, barring voter discrimination on the basis of race. Catto was only 32 when he was shot and killed outside of his home on South Street in 1871, the first election day that African Americans were allowed to vote. In 2017, a monument of Catto was unveiled at Philadelphia's City Hall. Octavius V. Catto.
The greatest way to celebrate the holiday season is by giving to the kingdom of God. God has so richly blessed so many in this country, and He wants us to be good stewards of the resources that He gives us. And so what better way to celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's than by giving to the work of New Life Evangelistic Center. And by doing so, you can make a big difference in the lives of thousands of people in this holiday season.
Welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes. Dr. Larry Jones is my guest, and we're talking about Taste of Success Coaching and also Falling Through the Ceiling. Falling Through the Ceiling is the name of a book. Dr. Jones, you hold this book. I just want people to see it in your hands. And tell us about Falling Through the Ceiling.
Well, let's just start with the graphic.
Okay.
And the title. You see this person just sort of falling in free fall. And then the larger person, I guess, would be on in red, you see, I suppose it looks more like worry. And similarly, the person in black on the other side, one male, one female. So the title actually comes from an actual event that occurred with my youngest son, who literally fell through the ceiling of our home, through the plaster, and was caught between his legs on a beam of the house so that he did not completely fall down onto the floor. But just so happened, at the time he was there and the location of myself and my wife, we were standing almost exactly under where the plaster and all fell to the floor, fell on my wife primarily and a little bit on me. But it was a manifestation of my son's ADHD, wanting to eagerly fix a problem in our home, because the units for air conditioning were in the rafters of the home. And occasionally the tubing system, which was very intricate to get the water from the AC down into a receptacle, would sometimes get clogged. So we'd have to go up and jiggle or empty a tray here or there. And the middle son had the responsibility of doing that, but he no longer lived in the home. So eagerly, my youngest son went up into the ceiling, because you have to balance on the beams of the roof in order to be able to get to the tray, to be able to empty it, and misstepped. One foot fell off the beam, and he fell with the beam in his crotch, leaving him, tumbling the plaster down.
I imagine that was quite frightening.
It was.
Yeah, we're running out of time, and that's so much to talk about. You were visiting Vietnam one time. Tell us about that briefly.
Sure. Actually, I went to Vietnam this past September as part of a team with an organization called MEDRIX, MEDRIX.org. I was invited to talk to the Vietnamese Department of Psychiatry at the Children's Hospital in Hanoi about ADHD, autism, and suicide, which was a very interesting experience. You know, having had a number of Vietnamese patients in my practice, you know, I had lots of questions going in terms of what it was going to be like, what was the culture like, what was the food like. But it gave me the opportunity to really speak internationally, you know, with an interpreter. Slides and all were submitted weeks in advance so that they could be translated into Vietnamese, but allowed me to share my knowledge with young professionals to basically help children in that culture and in that country who were suffering from behavioral disorders and specifically ADHD and autism.
It seems like we need to know this. We're running out of time. Could you just briefly tell us how to reach you again?
You can reach me, my website, tasteofsuccesscoaching.com, my email at drlarry@tasteofsuccesscoaching.com, and also through my Facebook page at Taste of Success Coaching. And there's a phone number that you can reach me, but to leave a message, because I don't answer directly, but leave a message, I'll give you a call back in terms of understanding exactly what coaching could offer for you, and also offering a free introductory coaching session for persons who really are interested in pursuing it.
Okay. Dr. Jones, thank you so very much for being with us today. And
thank you for having me.
Thank each and every one of you for supporting the New Life Advances Center. I'm Bernie Hayes. Until next time, have a great day.